English Listening Podcast. TOEIC 900 points. Chapter 1. Strategic Corporate Governance and Organizational Dynamics. Contemporary corporate governance frameworks have undergone substantial metamorphosis in response to evolving stakeholder expectations, regulatory mandates, and the imperative for enhanced organizational transparency and accountability. The traditional paradigm of shareholder primacy has gradually yielded to stakeholder capitalism, wherein corporations acknowledge their fiduciary responsibilities extend beyond profit maximization to encompass environmental stewardship, social equity, and sustainable value creation for all constituents. Board composition and independence have become increasingly scrutinized as institutional investors and regulatory authorities emphasize the correlation between governance quality and long-term organizational performance. The proliferation of diversity mandates, tenure limitations, and specialized committee structures reflects a concerted effort to mitigate cognitive biases, enhance deliberative processes, and ensure comprehensive oversight of strategic initiatives and risk management protocols. Executive compensation structures have evolved to incorporate multifaceted performance metrics that transcend traditional financial indicators to include environmental, social, and governance criteria. Long-term incentive plans increasingly emphasize sustainability targets, stakeholder satisfaction metrics, and innovation outcomes, thereby aligning executive behavior with broader organizational objectives and societal expectations. Risk management has transcended its traditional operational boundaries to encompass strategic, reputational, and systemic risks that could potentially undermine organizational resilience and stakeholder confidence. Enterprise risk management frameworks now integrate scenario planning, stress testing, and dynamic risk assessment methodologies to anticipate and mitigate emerging threats while capitalizing on opportunities inherent in uncertainty. Organizational culture has emerged as a quantifiable asset that significantly influences employee engagement, customer loyalty, and financial performance. Culture transformation initiatives leverage behavioral economics principles, organizational psychology insights, and data analytics to foster environments that promote innovation, ethical conduct, and collaborative excellence while maintaining operational efficiency and competitive advantage. The integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies into governance processes has introduced unprecedented capabilities for predictive analytics, automated compliance monitoring, and strategic decision support. These technological advancements enable more sophisticated analysis of complex business scenarios while simultaneously raising questions about algorithmic bias, data privacy, and human oversight requirements. Stakeholder engagement strategies have evolved from peripheral corporate social responsibility activities to integral components of strategic planning and operational execution. Multi-stakeholder dialogue platforms, materiality assessments, and impact measurement frameworks facilitate meaningful engagement with diverse constituencies while ensuring alignment between organizational actions and stakeholder expectations. Chapter 2. Macroeconomic Policy Implications and Financial System Architecture. The contemporary global financial architecture reflects a complex interplay of monetary policy transmission mechanisms, regulatory harmonization efforts, and technological disruption that collectively shape capital allocation efficiency, systemic stability, and economic growth trajectories. Central banking practices have evolved beyond conventional interest rate manipulation to encompass unconventional monetary policies, macroprudential regulation, and forward guidance strategies designed to manage economic expectations and financial stability risks. Quantitative easing programs implemented by major central banks have fundamentally altered traditional relationships between monetary policy, asset prices, and real economic activity. The prolonged period of ultra-low interest rates has contributed to asset price inflation, compressed risk premiums, and increased correlation across asset classes, thereby challenging conventional portfolio diversification strategies and risk management assumptions. Financial system interconnectedness has intensified through the proliferation of complex financial instruments, cross-border capital flows, and institutional relationships that can amplify and transmit shocks throughout the global economy. Systemic risk assessment methodologies now incorporate network analysis, contagion modeling, and stress testing scenarios to evaluate potential vulnerabilities and develop appropriate policy responses. Cryptocurrency and distributed ledger technology represent paradigmatic shifts in monetary systems, payment mechanisms, and financial intermediation that challenge traditional banking models and regulatory frameworks. Central bank digital currencies are being explored as potential solutions to payment system inefficiencies while raising fundamental questions about monetary sovereignty, privacy rights, and financial inclusion. International capital flows have become increasingly sensitive to policy uncertainties, geopolitical tensions, and risk sentiment shifts that can trigger rapid and destabilizing capital flight from emerging markets. Capital flow management measures and international coordination mechanisms are being developed to mitigate the adverse effects of volatile capital movements while preserving the benefits of financial globalization. Sustainable finance initiatives are reshaping capital market structures through the development of green bonds, sustainability loans, and environmental, social, and governance investment criteria. These developments reflect growing recognition that environmental and social risks can have material financial implications that must be incorporated into investment decision-making and risk assessment processes. Financial technology innovation continues to disintermediate traditional banking functions through peer-to-peer lending platforms, algorithmic trading systems, and automated investment advisory services that reduce transaction costs and improve market efficiency, while potentially introducing new sources of systemic risk and regulatory complexity. Chapter 3: Technological Paradigm Shifts and Innovation Ecosystems. The convergence of exponential technologies is precipitating unprecedented disruption across industrial sectors, organizational structures, and societal frameworks, necessitating fundamental reconceptualization of competitive strategies, operational methodologies, and value creation mechanisms. The accelerating pace of technological advancement has compressed innovation cycles while simultaneously expanding the complexity and interdependence of technological systems. Artificial intelligence capabilities have progressed from narrow, domain-specific applications to increasingly sophisticated general-purpose systems that demonstrate emergent behaviors and autonomous learning capabilities. The integration of large language models, computer vision systems, and robotic process automation is creating unprecedented opportunities for productivity enhancement while raising profound questions about employment displacement, algorithmic accountability, and human-machine collaboration. Quantum computing represents a fundamental paradigm shift in computational capabilities that promises to revolutionize cryptography, optimization problems, and scientific simulation, while potentially obsoleting current cybersecurity protocols and computational assumptions. The quantum advantage threshold approaches as hardware improvements and algorithmic innovations converge to enable practical quantum applications in fields ranging from drug discovery to financial modeling. Biotechnology advancements are enabling precise manipulation of biological systems through gene editing, synthetic biology, and personalized medicine, approaches that promise to address fundamental health challenges while raising ethical considerations regarding genetic enhancement, privacy, and equitable access to advanced therapeutics. The convergence of biotechnology and information technology is creating new possibilities for data-driven healthcare and precision interventions. Nanotechnology applications are advancing across materials science, electronics, and medicine, enabling the development of novel materials with unprecedented properties and miniaturized devices with enhanced functionality. The ability to manipulate matter at the atomic scale is creating opportunities for revolutionary advances in energy storage, environmental remediation, and medical diagnostics. Advanced manufacturing technologies, including additive manufacturing, robotics, and industrial Internet of Things applications, are enabling mass customization, distributed production, and adaptive manufacturing systems that respond dynamically to market demands while optimizing resource utilization and environmental impact. The emergence of digital twins and simulation technologies is enabling virtual representation and optimization of complex systems, ranging from individual products to entire cities, facilitating predictive maintenance, performance optimization, and scenario planning capabilities that were previously impractical or impossible to achieve. Chapter 4: Environmental Economics and Sustainability Imperatives. The intersection of environmental science and economic theory has yielded sophisticated analytical frameworks for understanding the complex relationships between economic activities, environmental degradation, and long-term societal welfare. Environmental economics provides essential insights into market failures, externality pricing, and policy interventions necessary to achieve sustainable development objectives while maintaining economic prosperity. Climate change represents an unprecedented global coordination challenge that requires unprecedented international cooperation, innovative financing mechanisms, and transformative changes in energy systems, industrial processes, and consumption patterns. The economic implications of climate change encompass both the costs of mitigation and adaptation measures and the potentially catastrophic economic damages associated with uncontrolled greenhouse gas emissions. Carbon pricing mechanisms, including carbon taxes and emissions trading systems, are being implemented to internalize environmental externalities and create economic incentives for emissions reduction while generating revenue for climate investments and just transition programs. The effectiveness of these mechanisms depends on comprehensive coverage, appropriate price levels, and complementary policies that address market failures and distributional concerns. Natural capital accounting is emerging as a critical component of economic analysis and policy development, recognizing that environmental assets provide essential ecosystem services that support economic activity and human welfare. The integration of natural capital into national accounting systems and corporate financial reporting is facilitating more comprehensive assessment of economic performance and sustainability. Circular economy principles are being operationalized through industrial symbiosis, extended producer responsibility, and design for circularity approaches that minimize waste generation, maximize resource efficiency, and create new business opportunities based on regenerative and restorative practices rather than linear take-make-dispose models. Green finance mechanisms are mobilizing private capital for environmental investments through green bonds, sustainability financing, and impact investing approaches that align financial returns with environmental outcomes. The development of standardized environmental impact metrics and reporting frameworks is essential for scaling green finance and preventing greenwashing. Biodiversity economics is gaining recognition as scientific evidence demonstrates the economic value of ecosystem services and the potential economic consequences of biodiversity loss. Payment for ecosystem services programs, biodiversity offsets, and conservation finance mechanisms are being developed to create economic incentives for biodiversity conservation and habitat restoration. Chapter 5: Healthcare Systems Transformation and Medical Innovation. Healthcare delivery systems worldwide are undergoing fundamental restructuring driven by demographic transitions, technological capabilities, cost pressures, and evolving patient expectations that collectively necessitate new models of care delivery, financing, and quality assurance. The transformation encompasses preventive care emphasis, personalized treatment approaches, and integrated care coordination that addresses the full spectrum of health determinants. Precision medicine represents a paradigmatic shift from population-based medical interventions to individualized treatment strategies based on genetic profiles, biomarker analysis, and environmental factors that influence disease susceptibility and treatment response. The integration of genomics, proteomics, and metabolomics is enabling unprecedented understanding of disease mechanisms and therapeutic targets. Digital health technologies are revolutionizing healthcare delivery through telemedicine platforms, remote patient monitoring systems, and artificial intelligence-powered diagnostic tools that enhance access, improve outcomes, and reduce costs while raising important questions about data security, regulatory oversight, and health equity. Health economics and outcomes research are providing evidence-based frameworks for evaluating the cost-effectiveness of medical interventions, informing coverage decisions, and optimizing resource allocation within healthcare systems. Value-based care models are being implemented to align provider incentives with patient outcomes rather than service volume. Pharmaceutical innovation continues to advance through novel drug discovery platforms, including artificial intelligence-powered compound identification, biomarker-driven clinical trial designs, and real-world evidence generation that accelerates the development of safe and effective therapies while reducing development costs and timeframes. Global health initiatives are addressing health inequities through innovative financing mechanisms, technology transfer programs, and capacity-building efforts that strengthen health systems in low-resource settings while advancing universal health coverage objectives and pandemic preparedness capabilities. Regulatory science is evolving to address the challenges posed by novel therapeutic modalities, including gene therapies, cell therapies, and digital therapeutics that require new evaluation frameworks and post-market surveillance approaches to ensure safety and efficacy while facilitating innovation and patient access. Chapter 6: Supply Chain Resilience and Network Optimization. Contemporary supply chain management has evolved beyond operational efficiency optimization to encompass strategic resilience building, sustainability integration, and stakeholder value creation through sophisticated network design, risk management, and performance optimization methodologies. The increasing complexity and interdependence of global supply networks necessitate advanced analytical capabilities and adaptive management approaches. Supply chain visibility and transparency have become critical competitive differentiators as stakeholders demand comprehensive understanding of product origins, labor practices, environmental impacts, and ethical standards throughout the value chain. Blockchain technology, IoT sensors, and advanced analytics are enabling unprecedented levels of traceability and accountability. Resilience engineering principles are being applied to supply chain design to enhance the ability to anticipate, absorb, adapt to, and recover from disruptions while maintaining essential functions and performance standards. Redundancy, flexibility, and adaptability are being systematically integrated into network architectures and operational procedures. Demand sensing and forecasting capabilities have been enhanced through machine learning algorithms, alternative data sources, and real-time market intelligence that enable more accurate prediction of demand patterns and proactive adjustment of supply chain operations to minimize inventory costs while maintaining service levels. Supplier ecosystem management encompasses comprehensive programs for supplier development, risk assessment, performance monitoring, and collaborative innovation that create mutual value and sustainable competitive advantages. Strategic supplier partnerships are being developed to leverage complementary capabilities and share risks and rewards. Sustainability integration throughout supply chains requires comprehensive measurement, management, and improvement of environmental and social impacts through life cycle assessment, circular design principles, and stakeholder engagement programs that address climate change, biodiversity loss, and social equity concerns. Advanced manufacturing and logistics technologies, including automation, robotics, and artificial intelligence, are being deployed to improve efficiency, quality, and responsiveness while reducing labor intensity and environmental impact. The integration of physical and digital systems is creating smart supply chain capabilities. Chapter 7: Organizational Psychology and Human Capital Development. The contemporary understanding of organizational behavior has been significantly enhanced through advances in behavioral economics, cognitive science, and neuroscience that provide deeper insights into human motivation, decision-making processes, and performance optimization within complex organizational environments. These insights are being systematically applied to enhance employee engagement, organizational effectiveness, and competitive advantage. Talent management strategies have evolved to address the changing nature of work, career expectations, and skill requirements in knowledge-intensive economies. Competency-based frameworks, continuous learning platforms, and career lattice models are replacing traditional hierarchical career progression pathways to provide greater flexibility and development opportunities. Leadership development programs are incorporating emotional intelligence, systems thinking, and adaptive leadership capabilities that enable executives to navigate complexity, uncertainty, and change, while inspiring and empowering diverse teams to achieve exceptional performance. The emphasis has shifted from command control to collaborative and transformational leadership styles. Organizational culture transformation initiatives leverage anthropological methods, behavioral interventions, and measurement systems to create environments that promote innovation, inclusion, and high performance while maintaining organizational coherence and values alignment. Culture is increasingly recognized as a quantifiable asset that influences all organizational outcomes. Employee well-being and mental health have become strategic priorities as organizations recognize the relationship between employee wellness, productivity, and organizational performance. Comprehensive well-being programs address physical health, mental health, financial wellness, and social connection through integrated approaches that create supportive work environments. Performance management systems are being redesigned to emphasize continuous feedback, goal alignment, and development rather than annual evaluations and rankings. Agile performance management approaches enable more frequent adjustment of objectives and priorities while providing ongoing coaching and support for employee development. Diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives have evolved from compliance-focused programs to strategic imperatives that leverage diverse perspectives and experiences to enhance innovation, decision-making, and organizational performance. Systemic approaches address unconscious bias, structural barriers, and inclusive leadership development. Chapter 8: International Political Economy and Trade Dynamics. The global political economy reflects complex interactions between domestic political processes, international economic relationships, and multilateral governance institutions that collectively shape trade patterns, investment flows, and economic development trajectories. The erosion of post-war international economic consensus has created uncertainty regarding future trade relationships and governance mechanisms. Trade policy formation increasingly reflects domestic political considerations, distributional concerns, and strategic competition rather than purely economic efficiency objectives. The rise of economic nationalism and skepticism regarding globalization has complicated traditional trade liberalization efforts and multilateral cooperation initiatives. Regional economic integration continues to evolve through comprehensive trade agreements that address not only traditional trade barriers, but also regulatory harmonization, digital commerce, environmental standards, and labor rights. These agreements reflect attempts to balance economic integration with sovereignty concerns and domestic policy autonomy. Global value chain governance structures are being reconfigured in response to supply chain vulnerabilities, technological dependencies, and geopolitical tensions that have highlighted the strategic importance of critical supply chains and technological capabilities. Reshoring, nearshoring, and friendshoring initiatives are reshaping international production networks. International monetary system evolution reflects challenges to dollar dominance, the emergence of alternative payment systems, and central bank digital currency developments that could fundamentally alter international financial relationships and monetary policy transmission mechanisms. Development finance architecture is being transformed through new multilateral institutions, innovative financing mechanisms, and sustainable development financing approaches that address infrastructure gaps, climate investments, and inequality reduction while promoting economic growth and social development. Economic statecraft has become increasingly prominent as governments utilize economic tools, including sanctions, export controls, and investment restrictions, to achieve foreign policy objectives while managing the economic costs and unintended consequences of these interventions. Chapter 9: Consumer Psychology and Market Dynamics. Contemporary marketing theory and practice have been profoundly influenced by advances in behavioral economics, cognitive psychology, and neuroscience that provide sophisticated understanding of consumer decision-making processes, preference formation, and behavioral responses to marketing stimuli. These insights enable more effective and ethical marketing strategies that create mutual value for consumers and organizations. Consumer behavior analysis has evolved beyond traditional demographic and psychographic segmentation to incorporate behavioral data, emotional responses, and contextual factors that influence purchasing decisions and brand relationships. Real-time behavioral analytics and machine learning algorithms enable dynamic personalization and predictive marketing approaches. Brand strategy development increasingly emphasizes authentic storytelling, purpose-driven messaging, and community building that create emotional connections and shared values with consumers rather than purely functional product benefits. Brand equity measurement encompasses both financial and social impact dimensions. Digital marketing ecosystems have become increasingly sophisticated through the integration of artificial intelligence, automation, and omnichannel orchestration that create seamless customer experiences across multiple touchpoints while optimizing marketing resource allocation and return on investment. Customer experience management encompasses comprehensive journey mapping, touchpoint optimization, and experience measurement that ensures consistent and exceptional interactions throughout the customer lifecycle. Experience design principles are being applied to create memorable and meaningful brand encounters. Marketing ethics and responsible marketing practices are receiving increased attention as concerns about data privacy, algorithmic bias, and manipulative marketing techniques influence regulatory frameworks and consumer expectations. Ethical marketing frameworks emphasize transparency, consent, and consumer empowerment. Market research methodologies are being enhanced through alternative data sources, social media analytics, and experimental techniques that provide deeper insights into consumer preferences and market dynamics while addressing traditional research limitations such as response bias and social desirability effects. Chapter 10: Innovation Ecosystems and Entrepreneurial Dynamics. Innovation ecosystems represent complex networks of interdependent actors, institutions, and resources that collectively facilitate the creation, development, and commercialization of novel ideas, technologies, and business models. These ecosystems exhibit emergent properties that cannot be understood through analysis of individual components, but require systems-level perspectives and interventions. Entrepreneurial finance has evolved beyond traditional venture capital models to encompass diverse funding mechanisms including crowdfunding, initial coin offerings, revenue-based financing, and corporate venture capital that provide entrepreneurs with greater flexibility and control over their funding strategies and growth trajectories. Innovation policy frameworks are being developed to address market failures in innovation systems while fostering competitive dynamics and entrepreneurial experimentation. Policy interventions encompass research and development support, intellectual property systems, regulatory sandboxes, and innovation procurement programs. Technology transfer mechanisms are being enhanced through improved university-industry collaboration, intellectual property commercialization strategies, and entrepreneurial education programs that facilitate the translation of scientific discoveries into practical applications and commercial ventures. Open innovation models are enabling organizations to leverage external knowledge sources, collaborative research relationships, and ecosystem partnerships to accelerate innovation processes while sharing risks and costs associated with research and development activities. Corporate entrepreneurship programs are being implemented to foster entrepreneurship, innovation culture, and new venture creation within established organizations while maintaining operational efficiency and strategic focus. These programs balance exploration and exploitation activities. Social innovation and impact entrepreneurship are gaining recognition as important mechanisms for addressing societal challenges through market-based solutions that create both social and economic value. Impact measurement frameworks and blended finance mechanisms are supporting the development and scaling of social ventures.